Since the American election has ended, the news has gone back to a bubbling simmer rather than the all-out frothing mess it was beforehand. Possibly I am just too busy with the holidays to pay close attention. I may have missed something while scanning between the headlines of new study stating lobsters do feel pain when they are boiled, to Jared Isaacman being the Trumptonian appointee to lead NASA. Although those two headlines are real in today's world, disinformation and alternative facts have become ubiquitous. Not only in our world, but nearly 200 years ago, one reporter inadvertently created a science hoax that captured global attention. Batman on the moon, before Batman was even created. In August 1835, New York newspaper The Sun published a series of 6 articles detailing remarkable discoveries allegedly made by the well-known English astronomer Sir John Herschel. Penned by Herschel's fictional travel companion, Dr. Andrew Grant, the series began by describing an enormous telescope, over 7 meters, almost 23 feet in diameter, and weighing 7 tons, bigger than this sketch shows, which allowed Herschel to observe the moon in unprecedented detail. As the series progressed, it detailed Herschel's incredible finds. It described lush forests and vast seas that were home to fantastical beasts. There were unicorns, intelligent beavers that walked on 2 legs, and winged humans called man-bats, hence Batman, all depicted in lithographs, like the one you can see here, that ran with the stories. The final article in the series described the unfortunate destruction of the telescope, which set fire to the observatory where it was housed. The series was actually written by reporter Richard Adams Locke, who only confessed to the hoax years later. According to Locke, it was intended as satire, drawing attention to the influence of religion on scientific theories of the time. In particular, he wanted to ridicule the astronomy books of Reverend Thomas Dick, who predicted that abundant lunar life would be detected once telescopes became powerful enough. But just like the War of the Worlds radio broadcast by Orson Welles, Locke underestimated how willingly the public would believe his satire. The writings of Dick and others had primed people to accept such outlandish ideas, and Locke's decision to weave some truth into the fiction, such as using the name of a real and a well-known astronomer, helped to make it all the more believable. In fact, one of our members, Kurt, has mentioned in his moon talks about a neighbor who has asked him about the animals that live on the moon. Some stories must get handed down generation to generation. Did you hear about the epic cow fail? The Sun didn't retract the articles or attempt to halt their spread, perhaps because their popularity was proving too profitable, until weeks later when the newspaper finally admitted the story was fabricated. But here's a true headline. A new mission will create an artificial solar eclipse in space. The European Space Agency's Proba-3 mission launched December 5th, beginning its mission to study the Sun's corona. Proba-3 is a novel kind of mission in which a pair of spacecraft will fly in precise formation to create an artificial eclipse, lining up perfectly with the Sun so that one spacecraft's shadow is cast on the other. This will allow the trailing spacecraft to study the Sun's corona. This is going to be an epic adventure, but one that eclipse chasers will only be able to follow online. Although I wouldn't doubt that a fictitious website will pop up promising you a trip to the Sun so that you can watch the eclipse.